Hey everybody, and welcome back. This week we've got some super interesting stuff in the mail. I cannot wait to go through this. We got a package from Mr. Domo, which I'm definitely going to be showing you and reading you that letter. Super touching letter. We'll go into that. And a new Tattoo Historian episode this week. It's on Mariel Tattoos, and they're not what you think. So, with no further, let's go into what's in the mail.
What's in the mail?
Alrighty, I got my manly pink scissors ready for this week. Now this one comes from a delightful man named Richard. He is from Germany. I know, you haven't seen one from Germany yet. And there's a reason why. This stuff is, it seems really hard to get here, from overseas. You rarely see stuff, so I'm gonna cut this one. I'm not sure how he packaged it, so we're gonna cut it ever so gingerly down the corner. So what is in here is super neat. Okay, so you all know, you're all familiar by this point with my obsession with George Burchett cigarette cards. Well, there were other cigarette cards made, and these were made in Germany, and they're from 1927. Now, the thing that makes them so rare and hard to get is that World War II happened. So a bunch of things in Germany were destroyed during the bombings and the whole shenanigans and goings-ons over there. But these three, oh man, these are beautiful too. They're a little smaller than I thought they would be. Here are some great pictures of them though. I love these. Now these are from the Exotic People of the World series. I had to translate the backs of them. I'll show you the backs of them. Here you go. But they're from the Exotic Peoples of the World series. Two of them are from the Burmese, and one of them is from the Africa series. The Africa series one looks more like a scarification kind of deal, but the two Japanese cards are just gorgeous. They depict a samurai, and one has a dragon on the back. Love these. Never seen them before. Because of their rarity, I am going to go ahead and put $100 each on these, depending on the condition. These are in pretty decent condition. They do have some rounded corners on one with the samurai on it, and it's a little off center. If I send these in, and that one's off center too, they'll probably grade on the low side. We're probably looking at 4s or 5s on these. But because of their rarity, show me another one of these. There was one gentleman, and I can't remember his name. I will see if I can't look up his name. But we were talking on the Tattoo Historical Society page on Facebook, and he was saying how he's got one of the glass negatives from that set, and I was like, man, that is super neat. You gotta get one of these to go with that. It's always we call it the rabbit hole. It's always a rabbit hole chase. You're always looking for the next big thing. Plus, like, a lot of us like to put things together. Like, you got an Al Shifley machine, you want an Al Shifley card. If you got the cigarette cards from Germany, you want the glass negatives to go with them. So, enough about that. Now this one comes from Michaela in Atlanta. I'll just give first names in case Michaela's running some underground ring or something. I'd say probably not. This is I believe this is a fanzine. Yep. So I sent off for this and this is one of those things that, like, you're not gonna see a ton of these. This was made, it says Your Skin Can Talk Volume 2. So I guess there's a Volume 1 out there somewhere. So these are fanzines. These are made by fans for fans. Matty Runks, Armored Applied. Oh, and they sent us some nice little, some nice cards here. Love getting these in the mail, guys. All you tattoo artists out there, if you have a card, we would love to show it on this show. I'm gonna show these Matty cards on the show. Psychic Armor Applied is Matty's tagline from Atlanta. These are awesome. Matty, thank you. I love these. We'll show you much better pictures of those here in a few. They got little tatter tots on them. I love that. I love that stuff. And we got a Southern Star tattoo. Boom. Again, I'll show you another really good picture of that. They got tattoo in a bunch of different languages on there. I love that. I think that's awesome. And let's see, they sent us, thanks for your interest and support in Your Skin Can Talk. Looking forward to sharing more volumes with the tattoo community in the future. Feel free to contact Matty. They even sent us a nice letter with it. So, what they do, or what they have done with this, from what I gathered, and now that I'm seeing it, it's absolutely what I thought it was. So these guys are collectors as well. They have collected all these awesome articles about Lyle Tuttle, because you know I'm a crazy fanatic for anything Lyle Tuttle, and this is just some really neat stuff. Just from his career, little paper clippings and a little bit of Don Leslie in there. But this is, I love this. This is something that, the stuff in it you can track down. If you want an original copy of it, you can track it down. But these guys have tracked it all down for us and put it in a magazine form. Now this is gonna be one of those in the future, because like it's got no titles on the front or back. I mean, you can definitely tell this is a fanzine, but it's nice. It's made of slick, and you can tell that they took these wonderful photos of their collection and turned it into a book. Now this wasn't very expensive. It is awesome though. Looking through it, it is totally awesome. Matty, I want to thank you for putting these out. Keep them coming, and if there's a way of us to subscribe, let us know that too. I will be sending you a personal invitation. Let's see, can I add Matty RX right there? So I'm going to contact Matty and let him know that his stuff's on, and see if we can't get some kind of subscription thing with this going. I think everybody would love these. So we'll check with him, and we'll see how that's gonna play out. So, a couple weeks ago, y'all remember I did a segment on Mr. Domo. Mr. Domo, Richard Perdomo, is from Humboldt, Tennessee. He's got a shop down there. He's had a shop for a good long while down there. He's a master tattoo artist. Super nice guy. We did a little segment on him and his brother Lou, and because I believe that the old school guys, the ones you don't know, maybe you should. So we did a little thing on him, and he contacted me through Facebook, and he said, I'm gonna send you a little something through the mail that I think you'll dig. Now, this one has already been opened, but here's the box. Mr. Domo sent it in. There's all the, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. At least it was upside down. So I already opened this, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd waited and opened it on film, because my reaction was extreme. I opened it though because, you know, from tattoo artists, you never know. You never know what's going to be in a package. We are pranksters, we are jokesters, and it could have just as easily been something, you know, that maybe we didn't want to show on the show. So I went ahead and opened it just in case. Not that Mr. Domo would do that. Mr. Domo is a class act. But you know, you got to know what's coming. Like most of this stuff, I know what's in the packages when they show up. This one I did not. So Mr. Domo sent me some gorgeous shots of how he makes tattoo machines. I'll show you that one here in a second. Here's one of his father and his brother and himself. Looks like a Christmas photo there. Here's Mr. Domo and his brother Lou. Lou's a tattoo artist as well. And then here's Mr. Domo in the early days, tattooing a gentleman's forehead. You just can't get enough forehead work, I guess. And then here's another one of him. Looks like he's set up at a convention or something here. So the pictures alone would have been fantastic. But this was in the package as well. This tripped me out. This I didn't see coming, and it totally thrilled us here when we got a hold of this. This is a handmade Mr. Domo machine. It's marked number 106. It's from 7/15/2004. And it's a beautiful machine. It's a little weighty, but like the old school machines, some of them just, I had a Coastal back in the day, weighed as much as a newborn baby. You almost had to work it with it on your shoulder and do it with both hands. But this one's nowhere near that heavy. It probably weighs a good, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 ounces. It's definitely a heavy machine. It would definitely just blast in color. I can tell that by running it just for a second. Now, Mr. Domo also sends a letter. I'm gonna read you this letter because this letter, well, I'm just gonna read it and I'll let you decide. It reads as follows. It's from Ancient Art Tattoo Studio. It says, "Hi Eric, I am sending you one of my machines that I have made. This machine is set up to operate the way I use a machine when I'm doing tattoos. I do not use a capacitor. I run them wide open and hard hitting. It's just the way I work. I have supplied a quick change capacitor that can be installed on the machine very easily. I am also including some old photos. The photos are of myself, my brother, Lou Perdomo. Lou is a tattoo artist working at Ridge Street Tattoo and Barbershop in Alton, Illinois. So stop in and check him out. Stop in and say hey to Lou from Tattoo Collectables. It says Lou is a much better artist than I am. Domo's he's a humble gentleman. It says the reason I am sending you these things isn't to impress you or to make myself seem larger than I am. I just know that when someone dies and passes from this world, their stuff gets thrown out or burnt with the trash. You seem to be someone that really likes history, and even though I'm nowhere near the best tattoo artist in my area, I am one of the ones with most years of experience in the trade. I'd like to think that when I'm dead and gone, maybe someone will look back and say, that old dude did some straight fine line tattoos when he was young. It says, well, I better get back to it. Hope you have a great day, and thanks for keeping the craft alive. Signed, Think Inc., December 10th, 2019, Mr. Domo. Mr. Domo, I want to first off tell you a heartfelt thank you from everyone here at Tattoo Collectables. This was above and beyond. And we absolutely love this machine. This machine will go on display with all of its original parts into a shadow box with your card up next to all of our other awesome machines from awesome builders throughout the years. And we want to thank you for that. You just have a great way of making them, and I think this machine is beautiful. So again, thank you. So that is it for what's in the mail this week. I know that there wasn't a ton in the mail, but what was in the mail was awesome. This week I could not believe what we got in the mail. So hopefully you all have enjoyed that. I am gonna contact Maddie and see if we can't get some subscriptions going to this thing because it's pretty cool, so I think you dig it. So next, our new tattoo historian. We've got a brand new segment we started last week, and here's the second installment. Hope you enjoy it. Mariel Tattoos. At first glance, they look like anyone else, but a small tattoo inscribed in an inconspicuous place is a dead giveaway that they are criminals with a specialty. They are called Mariels because they are part of a group which left from Mariel Harbor, Cuba in spring of 1980, courtesy of President Carter's Freedom Flotilla.
We, as a nation, have always had our arms open to receiving refugees in accordance with American law. Those of us who have been here for a generation or 6 or 8 generations ought to have just as open a heart to receive the new refugees as our ancestors were received in the past.
Fidel Castro released approximately 120,000 Cubans during the Freedom Flotilla. In Miami, most of the immigrants settled, including 20,000 Mariels directly from Cuban prisons. The Mariels wear tattoos mostly for jailhouse status, although the marks historically have a religious significance, as well as identifying the man as a particular brand of criminal. The tattoos usually consist of some variety of geometric figure associated with the beliefs of a superstitious religion called Santeria, which is a mixture of Christianity, Voodoo, and African religions. Pictures of Saint Barbara, Saint Lazarus, and Our Lady of Charity are popular. Indian heads are common, and the sentiments are macho, fatalistic. The tattoos are crude, but in Cuba, they are still considered high prison art, done in secret. Prisoners in Cuba tattoo one another in defiance of prison rules, using 3 sewing machine needles bound around a small piece of wood. The ink is either smuggled in or extracted from available materials such as shoe polish. Toothbrushes were once a common source of dye. Burned under a metal plate, the coloring condenses out in the smoke and collects on the metal plate. Scraped off, the residue is mixed with water to form a colored ink. The most sinister tattoo is the one depicting a heart pierced by an arrow. The Cuban who has that tattoo identifies himself as an executioner or hitman. Lou O'Donnell entered the North Shore Hospital in Long Island on June 10, 1986 for surgery. The next morning, the anesthesiologist appeared, a Cuban guy in his mid-30s. I was on the operating table and suddenly saw a tattoo on the man's inner left arm. I knew I'd seen the design somewhere in the historian, but I couldn't remember what it stood for. I was released from the hospital the next day, and after my surgery on June 12th, around noon, when I got home, I checked out issue number 6, which I thought had the article about the Mariel tattoos. There it was, the tattoo that's the sign of the executioner. I was glad I didn't remember that in the operating room. The anesthesiologist did not visit me after the operation, but I'll never forget the executioner's tattoo. It's still a real jolt every time I think the last words that he said to me were, "Now it's time to go to sleep." So, Mariel Tattoos, I had no clue. I had seen something similar to it on Scarface. He had a Mariel tattoo on him. Now, of course, he's a fictional character, but a lot of 20,000 of these individuals did end up on our shores, and on their hands usually is where they carry that mark. So, until next time, that was the historian. So, that was pretty cool. I love these tattoo historian stories, and I am going to keep them rolling for you. And that is it for this week. Hopefully you've walked away today with some knowledge that you didn't currently have, and hopefully you've enjoyed the show and what we've had on it this week. To all my tattoo artists out there, please like and subscribe. If you like this show and you want this show to continue, please subscribe to this channel and share this video to other tattoo artists, and let's try to keep this thing rolling. And until next week, you all be safe out there and keep on collecting. Hey everybody, thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button down below and check out these videos. We've worked real hard on these too, and I think if you enjoyed this one, you'll enjoy those too.